Welcome back, everybody. It's Rama from Junk Journal Divas. Good morning, my friends. I am back here today. I want to start working on one of my mini journals for Diva Delights in Junk Journal Divas. Will be my project for May. And I'm kind of excited to show you what I did last night. You can see all these huge papers here. So I'm going to use some of these as papers. And then I have these envelopes. Let me see here. These are like 5 3/4 by 4 1/4. So if you tear a regular printer page in half, it will be approximately this size. So I thought I'll use the envelopes as my cover. I don't know how many I'm going to make. So you guys, one of the problems that I always have when I'm creating is I get way too excited and I end up printing a bunch of stuff to use, gathering a whole bunch of fabrics, and I have just too much stuff around me. So I'm trying to narrow it down, and what I thought was I can just focus in on colors and stuff that I want to do for each journal, little mini that I do. So that's my plan. Now, in addition to these papers, I think there are only some of them that will be the colors that I want. Then I also, Art House Whimsy has a whole bunch of digitals that I want to use that I have printed, and this is what I mean. I'm going to have to just one by one. Calm down, Kristen. So I've got these papers. Now, what is this one called? I will figure this out, the new one, and put it in the video description as always, but I'll add it into the video here. But so you can see I already cut these in half, and I just loved these portraits. I love the colors, and they're just so cute. There's a whole bunch of them. I didn't print all of them. And this one here just looks like my Aunt Patsy. How fun. I love both of these. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of them. Just really fun portraits. So you can see I printed a few here. Quite a few. There's another one. I love this one. Okay, so I've got these guys. So easily distracted here. Oh my goodness. And then these papers are a add-on for those papers, for the ones that I just showed you. And these are on Art House Whimsy's Ko-Fi. You can find them if you're in Junk Journal Divas. She always puts her add-ons and things that are free printables in the group albums. You can find them. So again, in Junk Journal Divas, if you go to albums at the top of our group page, and you will see a whole bunch of freebies that pop up, and Tracy from Art House Whimsy has a ton. So I printed some of these. I just love the colors. And we have, okay, so for these, I actually printed 2 to a page, because they were kind of landscape. All right, so I've got these papers, and this is what I wanted to use. Now, let me show you my Frankenpapers that I did. Move my envelopes aside. Okay, so these are all Frankenpapers. I have a lot of scraps because I went from making this book from my friend. I was playing with jelly papers before that, and my scraps have really been building up. So this is the size that I need for my book. So I just did a bunch of Frankenpapers. So you see these will fit in there perfectly. So I've got these that are my jelly prints. And these are already cut down to size. You guys, I might have to switch to voiceover because we have some guys coming to fix our pool deck. You can hear my puppies starting to bark already. But let me show you the rest of these. Now, some of them I did both sides. Like here, you can see both sides are done, but not all of them. So these all need to be cut to whatever size it is that I need them to be. Got this one. Now, I'm just going to put these on the side so I can kind of see all of these colors and see what I can use in this book. Like this one, definitely the right colors that I need. Actually, this one's nice too, so we will see. And there's this one. Oh, this I used a vintage encyclopedia page that I had here. So here's one. You can see that is single-sided. And I might leave it like that because then you'll have a blank page. This was some tissue paper that I got in Happy Mail. I just glued down here. This was some Tim Holtz paper. And then I had a bunch of blues. And I think these were jelly prints that I was using last summer to make books. So I just grabbed some of these. So you can kind of do these different ways. Now let's see here. So this one, if you've got double-sided papers, you can just glue them together. I used this packing paper, or I also have a bunch of bags, paper bags. So I used that to put some of my papers down on top of. There's a bunch of Art House Whimsy papers here. Botanical. I'm dying to do botanical too, so that'll definitely be included in my makes here. And this one kind of just put together all these colorful things. I love this one with the orange. I keep saying I've never been a fan of orange, but for some reason it is. I'm really loving it. And then these are just scrapbook paper. So, okay, this is what I started with, and because I've had these pieces for a long time. So they're single-sided. So what I did, I just glued these long strips together, and then it was white on the other side, which I couldn't handle. So then I glued some strips going this way. But it's thin paper, so this isn't super duper thick. This one is single-sided. And yeah, these are all single-sided. Okay, so let's see here. What colors? I think maybe I could use this one. And then I'll put all the blues together. Though I could maybe use that one also. Okay, I'm going to put these aside. And I think I will start cutting these up into the size that I need. So I want these to be approximately the size of the top or the bottom portion of a regular piece of paper. So I want to cut my sizes 5.5 by 8.5. because I would be taking my printer paper and cutting it in half this way. So I want it to be 8.5 by 5.5. Okay, so I got my papers cut. So I want to, because they have thick areas, so I want to make sure that I have a really nice fold. So I'm going to use my bone folder, and then like this one, I can just fold over the edge if it's slightly longer, and I can turn that into a little tuck or something. So just finish and get all my papers ready so they're nice creases for when I do my signature papers. And I can put these aside. Now some of them I have some extra pieces, so let's use some of those scraps and make pockets. So I'll turn this little piece into a pocket for my page. See where I want to put it, and I think this looks good. So now I'm thinking these are single-sided. So if I fold it in half, this would be a page. So I'm going to make pockets. So if I fold this in half again, and then on the inside I want to have slanted pockets. So if I just take those two pieces, fold it in half, and I can make my cut. And then I'll take those pieces and I can glue it onto the part that's going to be white, because I don't want that white part showing. So I'll ink up these edges, and then I can glue my triangles back onto that back paper. Make sure I have them going the right direction here. And then I'll just put a little tiny bit going up the spine just to kind of hold it closed for now. Now I want to work on my cover. So I'm just going to make my spine like 3/4 of an inch. So that looks good. I'll do it to the second one, and then I can glue those two pieces together. And this will be the base of my cover. Get these nice and aligned. And then I do want to go around and just make sure I have everything glued properly inside. And then I'm just using, this is masking tape, and I am just using this just kind of as a stabilizer, because I am going to add fabric around my spine, so that will keep it nice for sewing in my signatures. Okay, so I've got my cover so-called thing here, and I did just cut the very, very top off so that I can create some pockets here. So I am just going to, I want to cover these. And then I think I'm going to use this girl on the front. And I was thinking of this as my background paper. And then use some orange fabric to go over my spine. So that's what I'm thinking so far. So I guess I will start with, let's cover everything up here. Now I'm skipping through this part because all I'm doing is covering the front and the back of my covers. And I find it easier if I line up my paper and then just kind of lift up one of the edges and put my glue down, and then I go back and do the other edge. And I don't know, this works for me better, because every time I try to just put the glue down all at once and then glue the two pieces together, they're always crooked. So just cut those excess pieces off so they're nice and flush. And now I'm just repeating the same exact thing to the inside covers. Okay, so I've got my cover done here. Let's go ahead and make our little thumb holes for the inside pockets. And then I can move on to the front cover. So I'm going to use this girl. I'll ink her up a little bit. And I think I'm going to use black paper. I do this a lot because I like that outline showing. So I'm just putting her down here on black paper and then cutting her out again. But like I said, I just really like the outline, and it does make it a little bit thicker since this is going to be on our cover. Then I can glue her down. And then I have to decide what else do I want to put, like little embellishments, and also my fabric piece that I want to use. And I'm thinking maybe I'll do a little ruffle on the edge. So I've got these pieces of fabric. Okay, I went ahead through my sewing machine and I just did like a really rough ruffle here. Wasn't trying to be fancy. And I'm just going to use some double-sided tape. And we'll get that down. And then once I get this down, I want to get my signature papers all together and sew those in. So let's get these all in the order that I want. And then I am just kind of eyeballing this. I'm going to put it, I'm going to sew it directly to my cover. So I am just clipping these together and trying to do it so that they're as perfectly lined up in the center as I can get them. Okay, I just went through my sewing machine. So here is my book. I can just push down the pages a little bit. Super cute. I'm very happy with this. So now that I put my signatures in and I sewed directly up the spine, I can go ahead and put my fabric to cover that up. So I'm going to use this fabric. Now it's not quite long enough, so I'm just going to cut a long strip as long as I can make it. And then I'll need to cut a little square to cover that very bottom part. So we'll do that. And I'm just using my 3-in-1 glue to put the fabric on here. I really like the colors. This orange. I'm telling you, it's been my color lately, which is so weird to me because I've never been an orange person. And I have this little piece of sari that is laying on my desk, and this is perfect. So I'm going to put down this leaf also on my desk. And then I'll just glue this little embellishment down. And I love her. So last, I'll just grab a sentiment. Now, you guys, I always mention YANETTE, so if there's anything Tim Holtz or Ranger products that you want, look in my video description, and I have the information for her Facebook group, and it's a little bit cheaper, and of course just supporting our crafty friends rather than buying from Amazon or Ranger. So I've got my sentiments on here, and I love her. Okay guys, so I wanted to show you this first mini that I did here with the envelopes. So you can see I put on the edge that little piece of fabric that I glued down, put a leaf and some of the pieces from my sari packs. I still have a few of these in my shop, so if anybody is interested, it is a huge bundle and they are $28. It's a huge bundle. And then this is a piece of fabric, and I just kind of left it messy like that when I tore the pieces. Keep some room in your heart for the unimaginable. Okay, and then on the inside, I have these big pockets on the front and the back, so I can slide a tag down in here. And then I just have my pages. This is another pocket that I made. More of my Frankenpaper. The Art House Whimsy pages, Frankenpaper. So you can see what it's like. This has a little tuck here. I just put some of this in, writing pages, my other pocket page, and then we are at the end. So there we go. And I have some orange, probably put some orange, an orange tie around this. Okay, I gotta go with this. Get these excess strings off of here. Wrap this around. We've got our little Minnie. She's so cute. I love it. So thank you for joining me for my little envelope journal here, and stay tuned for some more crafty adventures.